Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about two expressions that both mean obligation but work very differently. Those two expressions are must and have to.
Yes, and learners often treat these two as completely identical and just swap them freely, but they are not identical. They carry different feelings, come from different sources of authority, and behave very differently in grammar. So today we are going to make all of that very clear. Let us start with must. What does must mean?
Must is a modal verb. It expresses strong obligation or necessity. But the key thing about must is that the obligation comes from the speaker personally. It is internal. The speaker themselves feels strongly about the obligation or is imposing it from their own authority.
So must is personal. The speaker is the source of the obligation.
Exactly. When a doctor says, you must take this medicine twice a day, the doctor is personally imposing that rule. When you say, I must call my mother tonight, you personally feel strongly about doing this. No one is forcing you. It comes from inside.
So must is about the speaker's own feeling of necessity, or the speaker personally setting a rule for someone else.
Yes. And must has a formal and serious tone. When you use must, you are saying this is important, this must happen. It carries weight and authority.
Now let's talk about have to. What does have to mean?
Have to also means obligation or necessity, but the source is different. Have to comes from an external source, a rule, a law, a system, or a situation outside of the speaker. I have to pay taxes. The law requires it. She has to wear a uniform at work. The company rule requires it. He has to renew his driving license. The legal system requires it. In all of these, the obligation comes from outside.
So the difference between must and have to is really about where the obligation comes from. Must is internal and personal. Have to is external from rules, laws, and situations.
That is the perfect summary of the core difference. Internal obligation equals must, external obligation equals have to.
If both mean obligation, can you always use them interchangeably?
Not always. In many everyday situations, either works, but they feel different. A teacher saying, you must be quiet, means the teacher is personally setting that rule right now. You have to be quiet sounds like an outside rule already exists. Must sounds like the speaker is the authority. Have to sounds like an external rule is already in place. The feeling matters, especially in tone and formal contexts.
Now let's talk about the grammar differences because this is where learners really struggle.
Yes, and this is very important. Must is a modal verb. Modal verbs have very specific rules. The main rule is that must is always followed by the base form of the verb. Must plus base verb. You must go. She must stay. They must finish. No to, no ing, no changes to the main verb.
And must never changes form based on the subject.
Never. Must is the same for all subjects. I must, you must, he must, she must, it must, we must, they must. It never becomes musts or musted. It always stays as must. That is the nature of modal verbs. They never change form.
And what about have to? Does it change form?
Yes, and this is a key difference. Have to is not a modal verb. It behaves like a regular verb, so it changes based on the subject. I have to go. You have to go. We have to go. They have to go. All fine with have to, but he has to go. She has to go. It has to be done. With he, she, and it, have changes to has to.
So have to changes to has to with he, she, it.
Always. He has to work tomorrow. She has to finish the report. It has to be submitted by Friday. If you forget the S and say he have to, that is a grammar mistake. Has to is required for he, she, and it.
That is such an important point. Must never changes, but have to changes to has to with he, she, it.
Yes, and this difference in grammar behavior creates a whole chain of differences in questions and negatives too.
Let us talk about questions first. How do you form a question with must?
With must, you simply invert the subject and the verb. Must I go now? Must she finish today? Must they attend? The structure is must plus subject plus base verb. Clean and simple.
And questions with have to?
With have to, you need a do or does helper verb because have to behaves like a regular verb. Do I have to go? Does she have to finish? Do they have to attend? For he, she, and it, does is used. For I, you, we, and they, do is used.
So must questions need no helper verb. Have to questions always need do or does.
Exactly. Must I go is correct. Do I have to go is correct, but you would never say do I must go. That is wrong. Must does not need do.
Now let's talk about negatives because this is where the meaning difference becomes very dramatic.
Yes, the negative forms are extremely important, and they have very different meanings. Must not means you are prohibited from doing something. You are not allowed. It is forbidden. You must not smoke in this area. Smoking is forbidden here. You must not share your password. Sharing is prohibited. The prohibition is strong and serious.
So must not is a strong prohibition. It means do not do this. It is not allowed.
Yes, must not is one of the strongest ways to say something is forbidden in English, and it's shortened to mustn't in spoken English. You mustn't touch that. You mustn't tell anyone.
Now, what about do not have to? Is that the same as must not?
No, and this is one of the most important distinctions in English grammar. Do not have to means something is not necessary. You are not required to do it, but you can if you want. You do not have to come to the meeting, meaning attendance is not required, but if you want to come, that's fine. You do not have to wear a tie, meaning a tie is not required, but wearing one is not wrong.
So must not means it is forbidden. Do not have to means it is not necessary. These are completely opposite meanings.
Completely opposite. Must not is prohibition. You cannot do it. Do not have to is freedom from obligation. You can do it or not. Your choice.
Can you put them side by side so learners really feel the difference?
Yes. You must not eat in the library. Eating is forbidden there. You do not have to eat before you come. Eating before is not required. You mustn't speak during the exam. Speaking is forbidden. You do not have to speak if you don't want to. Speaking is not required, but you can if you wish.
That contrast is so clear. Must not equals forbidden. Do not have to equals not necessary.
And mixing these up causes serious mistakes. If someone says you must not bring food and you think it means you do not have to bring food, you might bring food anyway and break a rule. The meanings are so different, they can cause real misunderstandings.
This is genuinely one of the most important things in English modals. Must not and do not have to are not the same at all.
Absolutely not. Learn that distinction and you will avoid a very serious and very common type of mistake.
Now let us talk about past tense, because must and have to behave differently in the past too.
Yes, must does not have a past tense form. You cannot say musted. That does not exist. So when you want to talk about past obligation or necessity using must, you have to use had to instead.
So had to is the past tense for both must and have to?
Yes, had to serves as the past tense for obligation in both cases. I had to work late yesterday. She had to take the exam again. They had to cancel the event. Whether the original obligation was must or have to in the present, the past form is always had to.
And had to works with all subjects the same way?
Yes, I had to, you had to, he had to, she had to, we had to, they had to. Always had to. No changes for different subjects.
And the negative past? Did not have to?
Yes, the past version of do not have to is did not have to. I did not have to go. She didn't have to explain. They didn't have to wait. This means in the past something was not necessary or not required.
What about must not in the past?
Must not, meaning prohibition in the past, becomes was not allowed to or were not allowed to. I was not allowed to enter. She wasn't allowed to speak. They were not allowed to leave. There is no single word equivalent, so you use the allowed to structure.
Good. Now let us also talk about future forms because learners ask about this.
For future obligation, you can use will have to. She will have to work on Saturday. They will have to repeat the test. I will have to change my plans. Will have to is the natural future obligation, showing that an obligation will exist in the future.
And must can also be used for future obligation in some cases.
Yes, you must submit the form by Friday. That is a future deadline with must. It has a more formal and authoritative tone. Will have to sounds more like a natural consequence, while must sounds more like a command or rule.
So will have to is the natural future obligation. Must in future contexts sounds more formal and commanding.
Exactly. Both work, but the tone is slightly different.
So when is must more natural and when is have to more natural in real life?
Must is more natural in written rules and signs. Passengers must wear seatbelts. All visitors must sign in. It is also natural for strong personal feelings. You must try this restaurant. I really must get more sleep. Have to is more natural in everyday casual speech about life obligations. I have to pick up my children at 3. She has to attend a training tomorrow. In spoken English, have to is actually much more common for daily obligations, while must appears more in formal writing and strong personal expressions.
Now let us get into the common mistakes because this is where learners really need help.
The first mistake is using must not when do not have to is needed. Saying you must not bring a gift to the party when you mean a gift is not necessary. That tells guests they are forbidden to bring gifts. If gifts are simply not required but welcome, the correct phrase is you do not have to bring a gift.
Such an important mistake to avoid. Must not means forbidden. Do not have to means not required.
The second mistake is forgetting that have to changes to has to with he, she, and it. Saying he have to finish is wrong. He has to finish is correct. The S is essential for singular third-person subjects.
The third mistake is trying to make must work in the past by saying musted. Musted does not exist. The past form is always had to. I had to go, not I musted go.
The fourth mistake is using do must in questions. Do I must go is completely wrong. The correct question form with must is simply must I go. No do helper is needed with must.
The fifth mistake is using must in situations where the obligation clearly comes from outside. Saying I must pay taxes because the law says so sounds slightly odd. The obligation is external, so I have to pay taxes is more natural.
The sixth mistake is saying have must. There is no such thing as have must in English. Do not combine them. Choose one, either must or have to.
The seventh mistake is using must in negative to mean the same as do not have to. Must not and do not have to are completely different. This mistake can cause genuine misunderstandings, so it must be avoided.
Let us now do a practice round.
First one, a sign at a hospital entrance. Blank your phone off before entering.
The answer is must. You must turn your phone off before entering. This is a formal written rule with strong authority. Must is the natural word for formal rules and signs.
Second one, he blank attend every class because it's a course requirement.
The answer is has to. He has to attend every class. He is a singular third-person subject, so have changes to has. The obligation comes from an external course requirement.
Third one, you blank bring food to the party if you do not want to. We have plenty.
The answer is do not have to. You do not have to bring food. The food is not required. Guests are free to bring it or not. Do not have to shows freedom from obligation.
Fourth one, she blank pay the late fee because she submitted everything on time.
The answer is did not have to. She did not have to pay the late fee. past tense. The fee was not required because she submitted on time.
Fifth one, you blank touch the artwork in the museum. It's strictly forbidden.
You must not touch the artwork. Touching is prohibited. Must not is the strong prohibition.
Sixth one, I blank wake up early tomorrow because it's a holiday and I have no plans.
The answer is do not have to. I do not have to wake up early tomorrow. Waking up early is not required. There is no obligation. I'm free to sleep in.
They blank work this weekend because the deadline was moved to next month.
The answer is do not have to. They do not have to work this weekend. The obligation no longer exists because the deadline changed.
Eighth one, when I was a student, I blank study every night to keep up with the course.
The answer is had to. I had to study every night. Had to is the past tense of obligation. Must cannot be used directly in the past. Those examples cover all the key patterns really well.
Yes, 2 questions guide almost every choice. First, where does the obligation come from? Inside the speaker or from an external rule? Second, is this a prohibition or simply a lack of necessity?
Let us do the final summary. Must is a modal verb used for strong internal obligation or personal necessity. The obligation comes from the speaker. I must call her. You must rest. It never changes form. Must is the same for all subjects. Must is followed directly by the base verb. Must is more formal and authoritative. Must is common in written rules, signs, and strong personal expressions.
Have to is used for external obligation from rules, laws, situations, and systems. It changes form based on subject. Have to for I, you, we, they. Has to for he, she, it. It is followed by the base verb. It is more common in everyday casual speech. The past form of both must and have to is had to. The future form is will have to.
Must not means something is forbidden and prohibited. It is a strong prohibition. Do not have to means something is not necessary or not required. There is no obligation. These 2 negative forms have completely opposite meanings and must never be confused.
Common mistakes to avoid. Do not use must not when you mean do not have to. Do not forget has to for he, she, and it. Do not say musted for past obligation. Use had to. Do not say do I must in questions. Use must I. Do not combine them into have must. That does not exist.
Must and have to are 2 of the most useful and most used structures in English. Understanding the difference between them and using them correctly will immediately make your English more precise and more natural.
That's all for today. Keep practicing and you'll get these completely right very quickly. See you in the next one.
You are doing brilliantly. Keep going.